Welcome to TAS Media Institute, the home of undiscovered talents. You will be trained by professionals who have a passion in what they do. Do not be left behind. Enroll now and become a pioneer of TAS Media Institute. We are located at Neema Plaza, second floor along Kenyatta Highway in Thika Town. Life can sometimes take unexpected turns, and this family's story is no exception. When a gas explosion completely changed the course of their living, Mr. Joseph Lual and his family have been forced to face unimaginable hardships. But even in this phase of adversity, they have managed to persevere with so much resilience. And as the saying goes, adversity introduces you to yourself. Let's get the story of Mr. Joseph and his family.
So welcome to the first episode of Brain Busters. My name is Mwangi Dominic. Lotko barabara ya MKU. Tunauliza maswali tatanishi.
At TAS Media Institute, we let you discover your talent.
What's your name?
My name is Kevin Kakum.
Kitui Francis.
From which school?
Kenya Institute of Mass Communication.
Kenya Institute of Mass Communication.
What did you learn while at TAS TV?
Improvement of my skills in graphics, such as motion graphics, video editing, photography, also communication skills.
Camera operations, video editing, and improved my skills in graphic design.
Would you recommend anyone?
Yes, nilikuwa hapa TAS, skills zangu zili improve on communication with fellow co-workers and teamwork when doing certain projects.
Yes, new skills in photography. Communication, I have built more in communications through interaction with other colleagues or people outside there.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your attachment at TAS TV?
7.
8.
Generally, what would you say about TAS TV?
Wow, it's amazing being here.
I think it's the best place to be. Yeah.
Of September 2023. My name is Lavin, Nyagowa. Let's have a look at top stories this week. On to the first story. Kenya has successfully concluded its hosting of the Africa Climate Summit 2023, where critical discussions on climate action took the center stage. President William Ruto urged the delegates to leverage this platform to advocate for enhanced climate financing. During the summit, he also called upon the global north to fulfill their commitments to climate action, emphasizing the importance of shared responsibility. Among key issues discussed at the forum were how to tackle the increased exposure of emitters, investing in nature and biodiversity, solutions to climate change, and climate change financing for Africa.
Climate Summit, it is an annual event that brings together leaders from government, business, international organization, civil society to explore ways to reduce greenhouse gases emissions while adapting the mounting fallout from the climate crisis. Among the ideas discussed include energy system and industry, cities, urban and rural settlement, infrastructures and transport, society's health and economics. In the summit that was held at KICC Nairobi, the President William Ruto called for the fair climate change financing, where he says African carbon assets must be accurately compensated.
We have the carbon sinks that serves the world, cleans our environment, acts as sequestration of carbon that is produced by others. But we get nothing for it. It's not anywhere in our balance sheet.
This is human created because of the way we decide to heat our homes, light our buildings, travel, because we are unwilling to enforce fundamental laws that we have adopted about deforestation, illegal logging, and other things. It's a human created problem, but it's also subject to human resolution.
President Ruto challenged the developed nation over the fact that they have been harvesting where they have not sown, to the reference of carbon markets.
Acts as sequestration of carbon that is produced by others. But we get nothing for it. It's not anywhere in our balance sheet. Everybody's assets are in their balance sheet. Some of ours are not in that balance sheet. The day we put our whole assets in our balance sheet, you will know that we are a very wealthy continent.
Statistics show that the African continent is responsible for forming of carbon emission targeting the global.
Our national grid currently operates at 3 gigawatts with 93% of that power being renewable. Our ambition is audacious yet achievable. 100% renewable by 2030 and a 100 gigawatt grid entirely renewable by 2040.
The counties now has the reason to smile as the financing of local climate action program injected 7.4 billion shillings as part of climate investment boosting 979 million shillings already dispersed in counties in financial year. The president continued to advocate for the planting of 15 billion trees by 2032 to enable the country to reach its cover. Reporting for TAS TV, my name is Anton Ombuyogechi.
The First Lady Rachel Ruto on Thursday launched the First Lady Mazingira Award in a bid to conserve climate. The award recognizes and rewards environmental protection and conservation through creativity. It targets learners in more than 89,000 schools in all 47 counties to create a generation of environmentally conscious citizens. Mama Rachel Ruto stressed the importance of providing a platform for young people to voice their opinions and solutions to climate change. This comes after the just concluded Africa Climate Summit held at the KICC in Nairobi.
We are gathered here today to launch an award that will reward those who are playing a significant role in environmental preservation and conservation through their creativity. I acknowledge the outstanding contributions to the development of the logo, name and tagline for this award. We will be awarding the best entries today. To every student and school that participated, your ideas and dedication is deeply appreciated. With a median age of 19, our nation is a young, dynamic entity that holds incredible potential. According to a World Bank report of 2022, we have about 17 million students in primary and secondary schools in Kenya, as indicated even by our CS today. This award will target learners, including special needs students, in over 89,000 public and private primary and secondary schools across all the 47 counties of our great Republic, Kenya. Our schools are the fertile grounds that will sprout a generation of conservationists and guardians of the planet. Schools are able to nurture a generation of environmentally conscious citizens. Although the largest segment of the population affected by climate change is young people, including learners, they lack a forum to express their opinions and suggested solutions, and we are grateful because of what the President has told us today through their resolution.
In a promising development, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki has reported significant progress in addressing the passport backlog at the Immigration Department. Kindiki announced that the backlog has been reduced from 58,000 to 40,000 within a span of 1 week. The Interior CS has made a commitment that the government is dedicated to clearing the remaining backlog at Nyayo House within the next 10 days. These efforts are aimed at providing much-needed relief to individuals waiting for their passports and streamlining the passport issuance process.
There is, of course, a lot of improvement. We are in a better place than where we were last week. The queues are shorter, the movement is faster, but still we have a journey to travel. And therefore, much of today, we have been doing strategy. The end result is going to be as follows: that in 10 days from now, there will be no single backlog matter on passports. We will deliver as promised. In between, a lot of things to be done. Nimepata habari wananchi hapa wanasema maafisa wetu wanawaongelesha vizuri. Idadi tu ya wale maafisa wetu wa customer care, front desk hapo, ndio wamesema tuongeze idadi. Haitakuwa tena ya kwamba mwananchi anatafuta cheti cha kusafiria na akipatikani kwa zaidi ya siku 7. Na wale ambao watakuwa wanatafuta vyeti vya kusafiri kwa dharura watakuwa wanapata kwa siku 3, na kama ni mambo ya matibabu masaa 24. We will also make other administrative changes here, including separate facilities for expectant mothers, mothers who are lactating, and mothers of infants, and persons with disability. We've had new challenges, and we've seen how to address those challenges so that we make sure that even the new applications that are coming in are also processed in such a way that they don't create another backlog after we have cleared with the current backlog.
Chief Justice Martha Koome has raised concerns over threats to the independence of the country's judiciary. Speaking at the annual Judges Colloquium, her speech, delivered by Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu, highlighted challenges faced by the judiciary, including encroachment by the Salaries and Remuneration Commission and the Controller of Budget. Chief Justice Martha Koome also emphasized persistent underfunding issues affecting this crucial arm of the government.
The custodians of the social transformation promise of the Constitution, the Constitution envisages that we are to be the enablers for the realization of its aspirations. We are to utilize the law to effect positive social change. We can and we must be enablers of the values and principles of governance that are embodied in the Constitution.
There was a year when judiciary got zero budget allocation for the delays that we have seen. And on our part, we acknowledge there was inadequate planning and management of multi-year projects, and some of the constructions remain incomplete to date. but with clear and deliberate plans for their completion.
Commit that the National Assembly will continue to support the judiciary within the parameters of the Constitution. We cannot at any one moment try to say that the National Assembly, the Senate, or Parliament in general has any right whatsoever to try and hold the judiciary to ransom on any matter. It is purely interdependence within the confines of the Constitution, that what National Assembly is supposed to do under the Constitution for the judiciary, it must do it within the Constitution.
In a significant political development, the National Executive Committee (NEC) of the Orange Democratic Party (ODM) has taken a decisive action. 5 members of parliament, including Elisha Odhiambo of Gem, Karoli Omondi of Suba South, Gideon Ochanda of Bondo, Felix Odiwuor of Langata, and Kisumu Senator Tom Ojenda, previously associated with President William Ruto, have been expelled from the party. ODM Chairman John Mbadi, in an announcement on Wednesday, cited the MP's open support for another political party as a primary reason for their expulsion. Additionally, he pointed out that these lawmakers had contested the party's legal decisions and resolutions, a move deemed in violation of Article 11 of the ODM Constitution.
Members facing allegations of violation of Article 11, Sub-Article 1E, Roman E, of the Party Constitution and Section 14A of the Political Parties Act 2011 by openly associating with and supporting activities of a rival political party and opposed lawful decisions, resolutions made by the party organs, the National Executive Committee decided that these members be deemed to have resigned from the party, that is ODM, and the party is hereby directed to commence the process of removing them from the register of the party. The Honorable Mark Ogola Nyamita, MP for Uriri, and the Honorable Paul Abuor of Rongo, who are facing similar accusations as the aforementioned in Roman 2 above, and appeared before the disciplinary committee in person and offered explanations which were considered by the committee, should be reprimanded and directed to offer written apology to the party within 7 days. The two will be required to pay a fine of Kenya shillings 1 million each within 60 days to the party. Esther Passaris, the woman MP for Nairobi County, be reprimanded for her outright defiance of the party position on the Punitive Finance Bill 2023, and that she should issue a written apology to the party within 7 days.
Well, that story marks the end of the first part of today's news recap. We head on a very short commercial break. Remember, we still have more for you, so stay put. Welcome to TAS Media Institute, the home of undiscovered talents. You will be trained by professionals who have a passion in what they do. Do not be left behind. Enroll now and become a pioneer of TAS Media Institute. We are located at Neema Plaza, 2nd floor along Kenyatta Highway in Thika Town. Life can sometimes take unexpected turns, and this family's story is no exception. When a gas explosion completely changed the course of their living, Mr. Joseph Lual and his family have been forced to face unimaginable hardships. But even in this phase of adversity, they have managed to persevere with so much resilience. And as the saying goes, adversity introduces you to yourself. Let's get the story of Mr. Joseph and his family.
So So welcome to the first episode of Brain Busters. My name is Mwangi Dominic. Leo tuko barabara ya MKU. Tunauliza maswali tatanishi.
At TAS Media Institute, we let you discover your talent.
What's your name?
My name is Kevin Kakum.
Kitui Francis.
From which school?
Kenya Institute of Mass Communication.
Kenya Institute of Mass Communication.
What did you learn while at TAS TV?
Improvement of my skills in graphics, such as motion graphics, video editing, photography, also communication skills.
Camera operations, video editing, and improved my skills in graphic design.
Would you recommend anyone?
Yes, nilikuwa hapa TAS, skills zangu zili improve on communication with fellow co-workers and teamwork when doing certain projects.
Yes, new skills in photography. Communication, I have built more in communications through interaction with other colleagues or people outside there.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your attachment at TAS TV?
7.
8.
Generally, what will you say about TAS TV?
Wow, it's amazing being here.
I think it's the best place to be. Yeah.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, let's cross over to the health sector. Health worker unions in Kenya are pressing the Ministry of Health to provide a detailed breakdown of the expenditure expected from funds collected if the social health insurance bill becomes law. During the second day of public participation, the unions also called for increased employment of health professionals to ensure the success of universal health coverage. Medical Services Principal Secretary Hari Kimutai indicated that the proposed deduction of 2.7% from salaries is not set in stone, emphasizing the possibility of amendments through the ongoing public participation process.
The Ministry of Health officials held a public engagement with stakeholders to collect their views on the 4 bills proposed to spearhead the implementation of universal health coverage. Health Workers Union officials led by KMPDU and Public Health who appeared before the team called for proper cost of how universal health coverage will be delivered before the collection of funds from Kenyans.
So we are planning to collect money, but we don't know how much. I'm planning to spend it. Try cost it, because if you look at the systems that work, they have an amount, they have costed what it will go to, and then you share it out also. When you share out the monies, because people have a tendency to take it to infrastructure, to brick and mortar, and to tenders.
Other concern by the unions is lack of enough personnel and other professions to support health workers in level 2 and level 3 hospitals.
Managers are not empowered in terms of management of finance. How do we focus to ensure that there will be someone to support them, so that we do not accuse our people thereafter of mishandling finance, and yet they are not well trained, because they are trained to handle human beings.
My suggestion would be that we change from the sub-county medical officer to probably sub-county health officer, where anybody with experience and with capacity can actually be able to hold that responsibility.
Recommendations that Medical Services Principal Secretary Harry Kimutai says will be considered as they engage with more stakeholders. Kimutai has also given an assurance that the contents of the draft bill are subjected to change, including the proposal to deduct 2.75% of salaries.
I think that is fixed, and that's why in law we provide for amendments. The proposed 2.75% is currently, but as you are saying, we are coming up with the legislations to bring everybody on board. And if you bring everybody on board, there's always what's called you'll enjoy what's called economics of scale, because everybody is contributing.
On Thursday, the team is expected to meet with the Council of Governors, who will present their views on the Social Health Insurance Bill, the Primary Health Care Bill, the Digital Health Bill, and Facility Improvement Fund. Reporting for TAS TV in Thika, my name is Rachel Kamau.
Tensions rise as the Council of Governors accuses the Ministry of Health of sidelining them in the preparation for 4 pivotal bills crucial to implementing universal health coverage. During a meeting with Health Cabinet CS Susan Nahumicha and senior ministry officials, COG Chairperson Anne Waiguru expressed a dismay, highlighting that counties were only engaged in drafting the digital health bill, which overlooked key issues they had raised. The COG now demands their input be incorporated into these bills before they are presented to Parliament.
Today marks the 3rd day of stakeholders' engagement over the 4 bills to spearhead the implementation of the universal health care.
10 years of devolution.
Health Cabinet Secretary Susan Nakumicha met with the Council of Governors to discuss the bills which, if passed, will largely depend on the counties for implementation. However, even before the start of the meeting, the county governors raised what they termed as late consultation by the Ministry of Health on the bills which counties should have been co-drafters.
Are we recipients? Are we just part of public sector or what we call stakeholder engagement? Or are we supposed to be co-drafters of these particular bills?
The governors say that they were only consulted in drafting of the digital health bill, which will give powers to the Cabinet Secretary to be in charge of the health data, but were kept in the dark in drafting the Social Health Insurance Fund Bill, the Primary Health Care Bill, and the Facility Improvement Fund Bill.
The failures of UHC has been because of lack of good legislation, good legal framework. Again, I don't want us to fail because of just simple things of consultation.
Your legal team and our legal team, which have not sat anywhere, should have sat and agreed on these issues before they go out to the stakeholders, unless we are being treated as stakeholders.
The concerns raised by the governors is the issue of the Cabinet Secretary owning all the data, which they propose that the county health data should be with the county. Another concern is the clause that seeks to make the national legislation prevail over the county legislation on the implementation of the Facility Improvement Fund Bill, which they say is unconstitutional. On the proposal to convert community health promoters into workers, the governor said that this will have serious financial implications and also feels underrepresented in the Social Health Insurance Board.
I'm seeing a standoff. If you give me a bill or an act to employ 1,695 workers who are CHPs, I cannot do it because of the resources. On your legislation, make it broad and a policy-based law that gives the room to the counties to be able to specify certain levies and fees that they may want to charge in public health related fees.
Concerns that the county says will be addressed before the final draft before the National Assembly. Technical teams drawn from the Ministry of Health and the Council of Governors have been tasked to iron out the outstanding issues before the lapse of the public participation expected to end by September 19th. Reporting for TAS TV in Thika, my name is Rachel Kamau.
In a bid to enhance agricultural production, the government is urging farmers nationwide to take advantage of subsidized fertilizers. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, on behalf of President William Ruto, made this announcement during the official opening of the annual Agricultural Society of Kenya Trade Fair in Mombasa. The government plans to distribute approximately 100,000 metric tons of fertilizer for the upcoming short rain season. The trade fair, currently underway, has attracted hundreds of exhibitors. This initiative is expected to bolster the country's agricultural sector and support farmers in increasing their yields.
The second phase of farmers' registration is expected to end on 30 September 2023 in 45 counties. The government plans to distribute fertilizer beyond the urban cereal board stores by establishing last-mile stores to serve rural farmers. The national government is closely working with counties and elected leaders to participate in the last-mile delivery of fertilizer to farmers.
Karabati factory yetu ya maziwa hapa Mombasa Miritini na kule Nyambene, kule Giganjo, kule Nyaururu, Eldoret, Dandora na Kitale. Mambo haya yote tutaleta hiyo maziwa ili tuuze kule nje na tutatumia port yetu ya Mombasa.
Still on agriculture, the drive to elevate indigenous foods in the country is intensifying, with agricultural stakeholders actively seeking to bolster food security. During a recent briefing on the upcoming National Dialogue on Agri-Food Systems, participants emphasized the vital role of indigenous foods in improving dietary quality. This two-day national event will convene a diverse range of stakeholders, including the private sector, government, civil society, and academia. Their goal is to forge strategies and collaborations that will amplify the consumption of affordable and safeguarding indigenous foods across the nation.
We have either to find new ways of producing maize, given all the challenges that we are facing, or we have also to try and substitute maize with other food crops. And our decision or our suggestion is that we move towards indigenous crops, whether they are animal indigenous foods or whether they are crops, and mainly the drought-tolerant crops.
The dialogue that we are having next week will not only just help people consume indigenous foods, produce indigenous foods. If it is the private sector, focus on minimal processing of indigenous foods. It's not just around that. It's also telling them why we are insisting on the indigenous foods.
In a display of mounting concern over escalating insecurity, hundreds of residents in Quisero, Kakamega County took to the streets. Their day-long protests were ignited by the tragic death of a 44-year-old woman earlier this week. The residents are demanding urgent action from the security authorities to address the rising insecurity that has claimed the lives of numerous individuals in the area.
Kwa hivyo sisi wa mama tunateseka na tunaumia. Serikali yetu mtuangalie sisi wa mama. Serikali ilienda wapi Kenya hii? Mtuudie hata Kingiki, wanzi Kingiki akuje. Mwite Kingiki akuje.
Hatuwezi kubali mama kama huyu, yeye ndio tegemeo letu. Hapa nyumbani hakuna yoyote, watoto wako kule nje. Wewe kama ni wewe, how do you feeling usikie tu mama yako amechinjwa? Nataka na hiyo kiatu sasa wewe mwenyewe uchukue, uvae sasa. Utafili aje? Tuko na huzuni mkubwa.
Naomba mfanye maandamano ya amani ili tuje tupate ukweli umefanyika, tupate kusaidika.
Mimi ni askari na hudumia Kenya mzuri sana huko nje. Nimeepuka vifo nikizuia nchi yangu, nikichunga usalama wa nchi yangu na raia wa nchi yangu. Inauma sana mama yangu kuchinjwa kama mnyama na mimi kwingine nachunga wa watu wengine.
Now, let's take a breather from the headlines and dive into something entertaining. It's time for Brain Busters, brought to you by our reporter Anthony Ombui Ogechi.
What's your name?
My name is Kevin Kakum.
Kitui Francis.
From which school?
Kenya Institute of Mass Communication.
Kenya Institute of Mass Communication.
What did you learn while at TAS TV?
Improvement of my skills in graphics, such as motion graphics, video editing, photography, also communication skills.
Camera operations, video editing, and improved my skills in graphic design.
Would you recommend anyone?
Yes, nilikuwa hapa TAS, skills zangu zili improve on communication, fellow co-workers, and teamwork when doing certain projects.
Yes, new skills in photography. Communication, I have built more in communications through interaction with other colleagues or people outside there.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your attachment at TAS TV?
7.
8.
Generally, what will you say about TAS TV?
Wow, it's amazing being here.
I think this is the best place to be. Yeah.
Apologies for not presenting the Brain Busters, but you can check it out on our social media platforms. Check out YouTube at TAS TV Official, at TAS TV on Facebook, and you can also check out TAS TV_KE on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Let's meet same time, same place next week. My name is Lavin Nyagowa. God bless you.
Two teachers on two duties. Niandikie kwa Kiswahili.
Walimu wawili katika zamu mbili.
Oh my God! Wow! Two teachers on two duties.
Two teachers on two duties.
Kwa Kiswahili tunaweza semaje?
Walimu wawili kwa zamu mbili.
Nice. Two teachers on two duties. Unaweza kuandika hiyo sentence kwa Kiswahili namna gani?
It's about to go down.
Siwezi andika. Ni ngumu. Two teachers on two duties.
Hapo siwezi jaribu.
Two teachers on two duties. Hebu niandikie kwa Kiswahili.
Walimu wawili wakiwa kwenye duty.
Say what?
Wakiwa kwenye duty.
Do me a favor please. Get out of here. Get out of here man.
Amri za Mungu huwa ni ngapi?
10.
Nice. Ya nne inasema namna gani?
Siwe.
Uongo. Hiyo ni uongo bwana. Hakuna. Hiyo ni uongo hiyo.
Zile amri za Mungu huwa ni ngapi?
The 10 commandments.
Ile ya nne huwa ni gani?
Ya nne.
Three days later.
Do not call the Lord's name in vain.
Nataka uniambie the 5th Old Testament book.
Hey y'all, come look at this.
Maybe look.
What are you saying? What are you saying? What is he saying?
That marks the end of our Brain Busters. Join me next time. My name is Anton Ombui Ogechi.
Welcome to TAS Media Institute, the home of undiscovered talents. You will be trained by professionals who have a passion in what they do. Do not be left behind. Enroll now and become a pioneer of TAS Media Institute. We are located at Neema Plaza, second floor along Kenyatta Highway in Thika Town. Life can sometimes take unexpected turns, and this family's story is no exception. When a gas explosion completely changed the course of their living, Mr. Joseph Lual and his family have been forced to face unimaginable hardships. But even in this phase of adversity, they have managed to persevere with so much resilience. And as the saying goes, adversity introduces you to yourself. Let's get the story of Mr. Joseph and his family.
So welcome to the first episode of Brain Busters. My name is Mwangi Dominic. Tuko barabara ya MKU, tunauliza maswali tatanishi.
At TAS Media Institute, we let you discover your talent.